Some people don't need to break the law to be absolute menaces. They just need to exist within 20 feet of your driveway. And this woman had perfected the art. And before we begin, Dante, forget to like the video and subscribe for more revenge stories. My name is Alyssa Carr, and I live with my parents in Maple Glen, Pennsylvania, a quiet neighborhood where the biggest thrill should be the mail arriving early. But our next door neighbor, Gina, made sure peace was never an option. My mom is disabled wheelchair bound after a spinal condition that changed our entire lives. Everything requires planning. Loading her chair into the car, clearing enough room to help her in and out, making sure the path is safe. Parking matters a lot. And Gina? She knew that. She knew it perfectly well, but she always parked directly in front of our house, right where we needed space the most. She had a massive driveway with room for herself and all her tenants, but she preferred to leave it partially empty for visitors who never once existed. Her actual reason? She couldn't park on her own driveway. She was terrible at maneuvering. I once saw her trying to reverse into her own spot. She stalled 4 times, scraped the curb, gave up, cursed loudly, then parked in front of our house again like it was our fault she couldn't drive. My dad works late, so I am the one who usually handles this circus. I tried being reasonable. I politely asked her multiple times to stop blocking our area because of my mom's access needs and for security reasons. Our neighborhood is in DT exactly the safest, and parking by our ring camera gives us peace of mind. But every time, she ignored me, smiled, pretended not to hear, or worse, gave me that smug try me look. Fine, I thought. If she wants a game, I'll give her one. Last night, she parked in front of our house again, and the space she left between her bumper and our driveway was barely enough to fit a bicycle. I knew exactly what would happen in the morning. So when I came home late, I parked really close behind her. Close enough that someone with actual driving skills could manage the angle. But Gina? No chance. I went to bed with the kind of petty satisfaction that tucks you in like a warm blanket. Morning came. I was doing my skincare routine with the window open when I heard aggressive revving, loud, frustrated, panicked, tires screeching, engine whining. I peeked through the blinds. It was her, and she was stuck. She tried turning, failed, tried reversing, failed, tried accelerating harder like she was trying to launch into orbit, still stuck. Then came the knock. Bang, bang, bang. I wrapped a towel around myself, wet my hair in the sink so it looked like I stepped out of the shower, and barely cracked the door open. She huffed, "I'm late for work, move your car forward." I widened my eyes innocently. "Oh, you woke me up from my shower. I'll need a few minutes," she sputtered. "Can you just—" I cut her off gently. "You parked in front of our house. Again. I told you that S not okay, so now you'll have to wait." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again, but she said nothing. I shut the door, and for the next 20 minutes, I let the shower run. I dried my hair, picked out my clothes, made coffee, all while listening to her car revving like a dying lawnmower. Finally, I opened the curtains and saw her pulling away in the most awkward, humiliating 10-point turn I'd ever seen. But she did get out eventually, and as she drove off, her face looked like she wanted to scream into a pillow. That is when I knew every time she parks in front of our house, she is gonna regret it. This morning was only round one. The morning she got trapped the first time was satisfying, but what came after? That S when the real revenge began. Because people like Gina Dante learn lessons the first time. They double down. They tighten their jaw, stomp their feet, and convince themselves the universe revolves around their convenience. And sure enough, 2 days later, she parked in front of our house again. Round two began. It was Thursday evening when I came home and saw her car in the exact same illegal spot blocking the area we needed for my mama's wheelchair access. My eye twitched, but something was different this time. There was a second car behind hers, one of her tenants. A young guy in his 20s with a confused expression, like he couldn't understand why his landlord told him not to use the giant empty driveway she owned. I decided to capitalize on that. I parked my car even closer behind her this time, leaving a gap so tight she'd need a forklift and divine intervention to escape. The next morning, at around 7:15 a.m., I watched from inside as she strutted outside her house, coffee in hand, purse slung over her shoulder, already wearing her "I am better than everyone" expression. Then she saw the cars. Her tenant S car behind hers, my car behind his. Her eye twitched. Her lips tightened. She told her tenant to move. He shrugged helplessly he couldn't leave because I was blocking him too. She marched up to my front door and pounded on it like she was executing a warrant. Bang, bang, bang. I didn't answer. Not yet. I waited. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Then I casually walked down the hall, turned on the shower, let it run loud, then turned it off. Time to perform. I wrapped myself in a towel again, wet my hair, and cracked the door open even narrower than last time. "Oh, you again?" I blinked slowly. I literally just stepped out of the shower. She hissed, "I need to get out. Move your car." I tilted my head sympathetically. "Oh, I would, believe me." But I lowered my voice. "I told you. Stop parking here. My mother needs wheelchair access. It's public property," she began. "No, it isn't, T. Not in our township." I smiled. "And you were told multiple times, and guess what? Actions have consequences. You'll have to wait." Her nostrils flared so violently it looked painful. Behind her, the tenant tried not to laugh. He covered his mouth and pretended to cough. I closed the door again, and for the next 30 minutes I made coffee, moisturized, reorganized the spice drawer, fixed my hair, and basically lived my best life. When I finally came out, she wasn't standing anymore. She was pacing, her hair was messed up, her shirt was wrinkled from pulling at it, and she kept muttering like she was arguing with invisible people. That S, when she broke, "Please," she snapped, "I'm late." I nodded thoughtfully. "Maybe next time respect your neighbors." I moved my car, slowly, painfully slowly. She tore out of the space so fast, she almost hit her tenant. The third trap. The weekend showdown. The next time she parked there, I didn't need to do anything at all because something glorious happened. The entire street was watching. By then, everyone had seen the drama. Everyone had heard the revving engine. Everyone had watched her stomping and screaming through Ring camera clips passed around the neighborhood group chat. She had become a running joke. And on Saturday morning, when she once again left her car in front of my house, 3 different neighbors took pictures and posted them in the neighborhood WhatsApp. One message read, "Should we contact the HOA again? This is the 3rd time she is blocking wheelchair access." Another message, "She has a big driveway. Why is she choosing violence every morning?" I didn't even know half the people commenting, but they knew her. At 9:30 a.m., she stomped outside ready to go to brunch or yoga or whatever petty tyrants do on weekends. And that is when Mrs. Henderson from across the street, the sweetest old lady imaginable, walked over and said, "Move your car. You're blocking Alyssa S. driveway again." I watched through the blinds, mouth open. Gina stuttered. It's not technically blocking. It doesn't matter, Mrs. Henderson snapped, her voice suddenly sharp. You know her mother is disabled. You are being disrespectful. Then Mr. Patel from next door chimed in. And we are all very tired of hearing your engine screech for 20 minutes every morning. More neighbors stepped outside. More voices, more eyes. Gina wilted. She shrank. She finally felt the pressure of community judgment. And for the first time in the entire saga, she moved her car immediately, without waiting for me, without knocking, without excuses. That weekend felt like the whole block exhaled. 2 weeks passed. Not once did she park in front of our house. Not once did she block our Mom-S wheelchair access. Not once did she try her petty power games. But I got the final confirmation one Tuesday morning. I walked out to go run errands and saw her leaving the house at the same time. She glanced nervously at me, clutching her keys. Then she spoke in a tiny, shaky voice. I moved all my tenants' parking to the driveway from now on. I'm not parking near your house again. I nodded politely, but didn't smile. She hurried to her car like a scolded child. And just like that, the problem was solved. Not by yelling, not by fighting, not by threats, but by petty, strategic, flawlessly timed revenge and an entire neighborhood getting tired of one woman's selfishness. Looking back, I didn't ruin her life. I didn't sabotage her car. I didn't scream at her. I just gave her exactly what she gave us: inconvenience, frustration, and a reminder that other people exist. Sometimes the best revenge is simply letting someone sit in the mess they created. And making them late for work while you sip coffee in your towel, that is just the cherry on top.